order the regular meeting of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury for Thursday, April 7th, 2016. We're going to have the invocation and pledge of allegiance by Mr. Latour. Please stand.
Father, we come to you today to give thanks for all of us being here. Please watch over us as we're making into the right decisions. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please place the flag. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes.
Get you hooked up on the backside.
Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Yes, sir. Mr. Endicott?
Here.
Mr. Barris?
Here.
Mr. Brain?
Here.
Mr. Collins?
Here.
Mr. Farnham?
Here.
Mr. Guidry is out of town this evening. Mr. Guillory?
Here.
Mr. Hunter?
Here.
Mr. Latour?
Here.
Ms. Mayo? Here. Vice President McMillan?
Here.
Mr. Scott?
Here.
Mrs. Trimming? Here. Mr. White?
Here.
And President Landry.
Here.
You do have a question.
Thank you, Ms. Gaff. Before we get started, we ask that everyone silence your cell phones. And if you wish to speak on any item here tonight, please fill out a blue slip and give it to Miss Jessica here up front. Item 4, 6 o'clock. We'll come back to that at 6 o'clock. You're going to let me know when it's 6 o'clock, aren't you, sir?
6 o'clock action.
Item 5, take appropriate action on applications for liquor and beer permits. Ms. Wallace.
We do have one new application, and the staff recommends that it is approved.
Move. Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Andrepont and a second by Mr. Barris. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you, Jennifer. Item 6, consideration of approving payment of all current invoices.
Move. Second.
I have a motion by
Mr. Anderpont.
Mr. Andrepont, and second by Mr. Brain. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 7, consideration of approving the minutes of the regular meeting of the police jury dated March 10th, 2016. I have a motion by Mr. Scott and a second by Ms. Mayo. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 8, consideration of approving the Public Works Committee report dated March 31st, 2016. Mr. Farnham.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Works Committee met, and item 1 was acknowledged appearance by Judge Marilyn Castle of the 15th Judicial District Court, candidate for Louisiana State Supreme Court, District 3. Item 2 recommended that a resolution be adopted approving an active sale agreement for the School Street Extension Project in Ward 1. Item 3 recommended that a resolution be adopted approving active donation agreements for the East Fred Vale Road project in Ward 3. Item 4 recommended that a resolution be adopted approving an active sale agreement for the River Road Bridge Replacement Project in Ward 8. Item 5 recommended that a resolution be adopted approving an active sale agreement for the Booth Road project in Ward 1. Item 6 recommended that a resolution be adopted approving expropriation of property for the Booth Road project in Ward 1. Item 7 recommended that a resolution be adopted approving a servitude agreement for the North Frontage Road project in Ward 4. Item 8 recommended that a resolution be adopted approving an amendment to the cooperative endeavor agreement between the police jury and the city of Westlake for the John Side Road improvement projects in Ward 4. Item 9 recommended that an ordinance be adopted and/or existing ordinance amended to establish a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit on Moss Lake Lane in Ward 4. Item 10 recommended that the parish engineer be authorized to advertise for Calcasieu Parish Project Number 2016-08 Pinecone Drive Extension Project. Item 11 recommended that the parish engineer be authorized to advertise Calcasieu Parish Project Number 2016-07, the I-10 North Frontage Road Construction Project. Item 12 recommended that a resolution be adopted accepting Calcasieu Parish Project Number 2015-03 is substantially complete. Item 13 recommended that resolutions be adopted accepting the following subdivisions. A, Lakes of Clearfield Phase 1, Part 4 subdivisions. And B, Highland Hills Phase 1 subdivision. Item C, Oak Grove Phase 1 subdivision. Item D, River Trace Phase 2 subdivision. All these met with the full approval of the Public Works Committee, and I'll make a motion that they be adopted.
Second.
Mr. McMillan said that he wanted to know if you would repeat that. He missed part of it.
Sure, if y'all got time.
We wouldn't make you do that. That was quite a long one, wasn't it? Let's see, we have a motion by Mr. Farnum, second by Mr. Collins. Is there any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 9, consideration of approving the Agenda Committee report dated March 31st, 2016.
Move on 9.
I have a motion by Mr. McMillan, second by Mr. White. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 10, consideration of
on
adopting a
10.
resolution
Second.
invoking authority under LSA RS 38.2212, which provides for a declaration of public emergency for any procurement related to the purchase of a 1 3/4 ton crew cab 4x4 pickup truck for use by the Calcasieu Parish Coroner's Office. Had a motion by Mr. Scott and a second by Mr. Latour. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 11, take
Move
appropriate
on number
action
11, A and
on
B.
bids received by the
Second.
parish purchasing agent for the following. A, Calcasieu Parish Project Number 2016-01, overlaying of various roads in Calcasieu Parish to include wards 1, 6, and 8. The parish engineer recommends that the low bid in the amount of $2,332,136.90 of Prairie Contractors, Inc. be accepted. Item B was Alligator Park Improvements Project. The project architect recommends that the low bid in the amount of $1,049,695 of Fry Construction and Dirt Service LLC be accepted. I had a motion by Ms. Trimmy on both bullets and a second by Mr. McMillan. Ms. Trimmy.
I just want to thank our staff. This is 24 years that we've been working hard to be able to redo Alligator Park. And it's not only going to be wonderful, but it's going to be first class. And actually, Tim and I actually got to the gate yesterday. We did ride some roads and things in the Ward 5 area. But now, this is going to be something like you would see anywhere else. I mean, it's going to be a first-class park, and it's beautiful. I think it's one of our prettiest parks. We've got some beautiful parks, but this one is on my prime time list. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Trimmy. Is there any other discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 12, consideration of proclaiming the week of April 10th through 16th, 2016 as National Telecommunicator Week in Calcasieu Parish.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. McMillan, a second by Mr. Barris. Is there any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 13, take appropriate action on the terms of the following members of various boards and districts. A is Miss Joyce Doucette. There's a resignation in the Recreation District Number 1 of Ward 8. We had a motion
To defer for 30 days.
to defer for 30 days, and a second by Mr. Scott. Any discussion, any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. B, Miss Mary Gallion.
Move to appoint Ms.
MCOR
Lindsay
MCAL
Popian and
Board
Godfrey.
Of Directors. We're going to appoint Miss Lindsay Godfrey. I have a motion by Mr. Scott and a second by Ms. Mayo. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. C, Mr. John LaGroin. He is deceased on Gravity Drainage District Number 2 of Ward 7. We had a motion to appoint Mr. Steve Smith.
Move to appoint Mr. Steve Smith.
Mr. Barris,
Second.
second by Mr. Farnum. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. D, Mr. Tony Dansby, Gravity Drainage District Number 4 of Ward 3.
Move to defer.
For resignation, I have a motion to defer for 30 days by
Second.
Mr. Collins, second by Mr. Brame. Is there any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. E,
Move to defer.
Mr. Sonny Watkins, Waterworks District Number 7 of Wards 4 and 6. Have a motion by Ms. Trimmy to defer for 30 days, second by Mr. Scott. Is there any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. F, Ms. Ramona Gilreath,
Move to approve Ms.
hired to the
Carol Thibodeau.
Workforce Development Board. We have a motion by Mr. Latour, second by Ms. Mayo, to appoint Ms. Carol Thibodeau. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 14 is an advised item that there are no board member items for May of 2016. Item 15, consideration of adopting a resolution of condolences to be forwarded to the family of the late Frank M. Coach Max Calderera. Have a motion by Mr. McMillan and a second by Mr. Scott. Mr. McMillan.
Thank you. Coach Max, 35 years of coaching at Westlake High School, over 200 wins. Tremendous guy. Everybody loved him. He was always around Westlake, and he had retired out. He got elected to the school board, so he was back in public service doing a great job. For the past 28 years, he's been going to our Angel Fire snow skiing trip. Actually, Max said it should have been called something else other than Hal's Pals because he was there a year before me. But Angel Fire last year honored Max with a VIP pass that he got to ski free the entire time while he was up at Angel Fire. I have a picture of Max with that VIP pass on. It was a great trip. We had great snow, great time. He had a wonderful vacation. Very much a family man, husband, father, and grandfather. One of the things, little Max Pistol's room was right next to Sue and I's room. And every morning about 8 o'clock, 8:15, Max Sr. would come and get them grandkids. And boy, you talk about the excitement and the chirping that was going on. Every week, Sue and I, we just laugh about what a great moment that is. We're going to miss him tremendous in Westlake. Max Calderera will live on in Westlake for many, many years to come. Tremendous guy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 16,
Move on
consideration
16.
of adopting a resolution of condolences to be forwarded to the family of the late Deborah Reed Terranova. Have a motion by Mr. Hunter and a second by Mr. Latour. Mr. Hunter.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ms. Terranova was the former director of the Lake Charles Symphony for almost a decade. She was married to one of my godfathers. I kind of consider him. You know, you have godfathers when you're born, then you have people that over your life you just kind of start calling uncle, and that is Mike Terranova. And Debbie had a really tough time towards the end of her life. She was in a spot where she was not herself when she was younger. And so I don't only want to offer condolences to the family of Debbie, but I know Mike doesn't watch this stuff unless he's trying to go to sleep at night. He might turn on CGov. But Mike was an amazing, amazing husband to Debbie throughout her entire life. And I know that she appreciated that, and she's able to appreciate it fully now than she was towards the end of her life. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 17, consideration of going into executive session to discuss lawsuit number 15-2259, David A. Landry Jr. et al. Versus Gravity Drainage District Number 9 of Ward 2 and the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury.
Mr. President, I believe we
want
we do have to come back at 6,
Yeah.
but I think we can do it
I
before
think
then.
we can too.
If not, we'll just
A
come
good
back
call.
and finish
We'll be
it.
back at 6.
Had a motion by Mr. Hunter and a second by Mr. McMillan.
That's best.
Oh, I didn't know nothing of it. When is it? Today's Thursday.